Welcome back. Today we're looking at a commentary script on Candace Owens' theories about Charlie Kirk being a time traveler and this Project Looking Glass thing.
Right.
And it really zeroes in on the contradiction between her getting huge numbers on YouTube while also claiming she's being censored.
This is, it's a wild text to analyze. We've got mutants, aliens, government time machines. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And that, I think, presents a real challenge. You can feel this intense frustration coming from the author.
Oh, absolutely. It's palpable.
But the issue is that frustration often comes out as these really aggressive ad hominem attacks. And that risks undermining the whole argument.
It feels like a real-time vent session. And, to be fair, when you're analyzing someone claiming Project Looking Glass is real, the urge to just call them a dingbat must be pretty strong.
It's a human reaction, for sure, but it isn't strategic.
No.
The author calls her a psychopathic, narcissistic dingbat, a lying scumbag, and there are all these references to Looney Tunes.
Right.
And while you get the passion, it shifts the focus. It goes from a sharp analytical debunking to something that feels more like a personal vendetta.
And it just pushes people away, right? If you're not already 100% on board, a word like dingbat is like an eject button. You stop listening to the logic.
You hear the insult first. And I think there's a deeper risk, too. Isn't there a chance that by using that same kind of rhetoric, the author accidentally validates her whole us versus them narrative?
That's a great point. Yeah, you're not taking the high road. You're getting down in the mud with them.
You're muddying the waters. So the suggestion here is to strip out the name-calling. Just let the absurdity of her own claims do the heavy lifting.
Let the evidence speak for itself.
Exactly. You don't need to tell the audience she's crazy if you just quote her saying, fluoride turns people into aliens. The quote is the weapon, not the adjective you tack onto it.
It's like telling a joke versus explaining a joke. If you just hold up the mirror, you don't need to scream at the reflection. But how do you actually do that in the writing without losing the punch?
I think you use juxtaposition. So right now, the text mocks her fluoride theory and then follows up with an insult.
Okay.
A stronger way, a more devastating way, would be to just place her claim next to the scientific reality. You could say, she claims fluoride turns you into an alien. Pause. Meanwhile, decades of dental science suggest it strengthens enamel.
It's drier, but it hits so much harder because it's undeniable. It makes the claim look even smaller.
And there's that reference to the Alex Jones gay frogs thing in the text.
Yeah.
Right now, it's used as like a chaotic comparison. A better way to use it would be as a baseline for misinformation. Frame it as, we're seeing a recycling of the Alex Jones playbook here.
So it's not just this person is dumb, it's this person is using a recognizable disinformation.
Right. It teaches the listener to see the pattern.
Which is key. And maybe we could also frame this through the lens of performance, not personality. The text calls her a narcissist.
Which is a clinical diagnosis the author probably can't make.
Exactly. And it sounds bitter. But if you analyze her bragging about trending as, say, a calculated marketing tactic,
then it's not just her being full of herself. She's performing confidence to signal authority to her base. It turns the piece from a rant into media analysis.
Okay, that makes sense.
And speaking of media analysis, we should probably talk about YouTube's role in all this. The argument about why YouTube is trending her content, it feels like it's based on speculative intent, not actual algorithmic mechanics.
This is the part where the author says YouTube is pushing the video to show everyone this is how insane the right is.
Yeah, and the weakness there is that it attributes this specific moral agenda to a platform without any evidence. It sounds like a counter-conspiracy.
Right, as if there's a guy at YouTube headquarters pulling a lever to embarrass conservatives.
Which is almost certainly not how it works. And when you make a claim like that, you lose anyone who understands tech because they know it's just about engagement.
And doesn't that kind of let the platform off the hook? It paints them as these moral crusaders instead of just being greedy.
Right. So the suggestion is to ground the whole argument in engagement economics. The case is so much stronger if it just explains why the algorithm pushes the content. It's outrage clicks. It's comment volume.
The algorithm doesn't care if it's true. It just cares that you're watching.
It's a digital coliseum. The algorithm just wants blood on the sand.
But how do you make engagement economics sound as interesting as a political conspiracy? Because, code can be pretty boring.
You use better metaphors. So instead of the author asking, why is YouTube pushing this, and answering to shame them, you explain that these insane theories are like heat-seeking missiles for engagement.
A blind beast that just feeds on noise?
Exactly. That connects to the Thanos reference the author makes.
Ah, the I am inevitable line.
Yeah, right now it's a bit loose. I'd suggest rewriting that to focus on the inevitability of the algorithm rewarding sensationalism, not the person herself.
So it's not that she's inevitable, it's that a system designed to maximize watch time will inevitably promote the most outrageous stuff.
It's a systemic critique. It makes her smaller and the problem bigger.
That also brings the audience's role. I mean, could the algorithm just be blindly following the traffic that she's generating with her own call to act? The text mentions tips at Candace.com.
That's the fuel for the engine.
So actionably, the author could use that line, the more you lie, the more you're rewarded, to talk about the whole system with misinformation.
Yes.
Don't just say YouTube is rewarding her. Explain the mechanic. A lie travels 6 times faster than the truth. The algorithm sees that, and it boots it. That's a much scarier point.
It moves the conversation from intent to incentive, which is always a smarter place to be. Okay, let's shift to structure, specifically that middle section.
Right.
The extended hypothetical about the sea beast and fake emails, it kills the pacing.
The part about Flipper.
Yes, Flipper. The author spends paragraphs inventing this whole scenario about a ChatGPT email where a sea beast kills Charlie Kirk.
And look, I get it. The image is funny. It's a ridiculous image for a ridiculous topic. But does it actually serve the argument?
It just runs way too long. It breaks the tension. You're deep in the weeds on Project Looking Glass, and then suddenly you're in a creative writing workshop about a dolphin.
You find yourself checking out, thinking, oh, this isn't real, it's just a bit.
Right. But what if we pivoted this? If the author really wants to use the fake email angle, why not actually do it?
Oh, now that would be a completely different ballgame.
Instead of just wondering about sending an insane email, what if the author actually sent a fake tip to her and reported on whether it got picked up?
That changes it from a ramble into investigative journalism.
I did this.
And if the author isn't willing to do all that legwork?
Then I'd say cut it. Just cut the whole sea beast and Flipper bit.
Yeah.
Instead of the hypothetical, maybe do a deep dive into the actual email she claims to get, the mummy sleuths of the internet. Analyze why her audience considers an anonymous email a valid source. That's the real story.
Right. The Sea Beast is a distraction from the fact that she's essentially reading fan fiction as news.
Okay, so final major critique, and this gets to the core of the piece. The author wants to highlight hypocrisy, but the strongest argument, the hypocrisy of claiming censorship while bragging about trending, it's sort of buried.
It does feel like a bit of a laundry list, right? Time travel, aliens, fluoride, censorship. It's all just kind of flattened out.
Exactly. The text bounces between all these points without a clear hierarchy. And the strongest point, by far, is that she claims she's being silenced by Ben Shapiro while she's #1 on YouTube.
That's the smoking gun. That's the beam that holds the whole house up.
So the recommendation is to make that censorship paradox the central thesis of the entire piece.
Okay.
Everything else, the time travel, the aliens, it all becomes evidence of what is being allowed to trend, which proves she isn't being censored. The structure becomes, she says she's censored. Look at this insane thing she said. Now look, it's trending at #1. Therefore, she's not censored.
It gives the listener a roadmap. And it all pays off what you said earlier about the algorithm.
Start right there.
Start there.
Establish the victimhood narrative, and then immediately cut to the fact that she's trending for the Project Looking Glass video. The juxtaposition creates instant tension.
And what about that character, the Scientologist John Min, who confirms her stories?
Use him. Use that reference not just as a funny aside, but as proof of the ecosystem that amplifies her. It directly counters the idea that she's a lone voice in the wilderness. She's a network. She has a platform.
The evidence is all there, it just needs to be reorganized. But is a connection between her victimhood and her success really established? What if we looked at the censorship claim as the product she's selling?
That's a crucial distinction.
If we see censorship as her brand, like Nike sells shoes, she sells being silenced, then trending on YouTube isn't a contradiction. It's the distribution mechanism.
It's the best possible advertising for her brand. She is selling you the idea of her own oppression, and you are buying it on the world's largest video platform.
And that tips at Candace.com address becomes part of it. It's a way to bypass the censorship that doesn't actually exist.
It creates a closed loop. It reinforces that us versus the world dynamic.
The mummy sleuths versus the world. And by focusing on that, the author moves from just debunking a crazy theory to explaining the psychological engine that keeps this stuff alive.
Which provides so much more value. It stops being a reaction video and starts being a cultural critique. And that's where this piece has the potential to go.
The raw materials are definitely all here. They just need to be assembled a little different.
So let's recap the primary feedback. Kind of a checklist for the rewrite. First, just Control F and find every insult.
Yep, replace the name calling. Calling her a dingbat feels good, but a cool, detached dismantling of the facts. That gives you all the credibility.
Second, the algorithm. Ground the YouTube analysis in engagement metrics, not another conspiracy theory. Use that digital Colosseum metaphor.
Follow the money, not the morals.
Third, the satire. Cut the sea beast flipper hypothetical. It just kills the momentum, unless you're actually going to do the experiment.
Which would be amazing.
It would. And finally, the thesis. Censor the whole narrative on the undeniable contradiction, a censored figure trending globally.
That's the story. That's the paradox.
We would genuinely love to see where this piece goes. With these shifts, it could be a really definitive take on the subject.
We invite the listener to apply these changes and submit the revised script for a follow-up.
I really do want to read the version where the fake email experiment happens. That would be a highlight.
That would be something.
Thanks for tuning in. Keep writing, keep refining, and we'll see you next time.